Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into the charts to take a look at Cardano to see what's been going on most recently and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's jump on down into the charts here for Cardano and see what's going on with the price action of ADA. Okay guys, we're just going to start things off with our hourly chart. We are paired up with USDT and Binance is the data source here. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of kind of waves that have been going on. We've got the impulsive structure coming up here. Okay, basically this is a 53535 structure. Then over on this side we have a 335 coming down just here. This then goes up into basically an ABC, a 3-wave up. And then we end up with this 5 waves come down. So basically a 3-5 in here. Then we end up with 3 more waves up, 5 more waves down. Now, what's interesting about this is this middle section. I think we have to dissect this a little bit lower into a possible 335 just here. Okay, so what I think is actually going on is, if I grab hold of my pencil here, is we have a 3, 3, 5. That's really bad threes. Just in this little section here. Okay, then what I have is this ABC, which I also think is a 3, 3, 5. Okay, so that's this little section. Okay, and I think now we are in this move here, and this one would be a 5, 3, 5. Okay, now it's possible that this turns into a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, essentially making it an impulsive structure like what we had on the way up. However, on the bigger scale of things, I think all of this really is a larger ABC correction. So all of that is A, that is B, and this is a big overextended C. Now, of course, that could go and we could mark that up as a, an impulsive structure going down, and we end up with another 5 waves. But I think this is going to be a turning point for us based on the momentum of the price and all of that. And I'm going to get into that in a moment, okay? But let's focus in on these recent moves right down here. So basically, we were last talking about, at least within our Discord and our Patreon services, we're talking a lot around, this 4th and 5th wave coming down lower. Originally, this was looking like it was up here in this little area here. But this turned out to be a wave 2 rather than a wave 5. And actually, now what we've got here is the structure coming back down. Now, in this little range here, we have our ABC going up. Again, we might want to cast that as 5 waves going up again. That would break all of the structure here, but it is a possibility that actually, we're not following perfect wave counts inside here. And this is actually just a 335 coming down, and then we start to see the reversal. Now, as you can note that we actually hit this low point within our wave 3. We pulled up, and this actually now needs to adjust and move down a little bit. Okay, so this was looking slightly different prior. This was looking more over here, here, and then here. Okay, which is still a possibility that we actually have it like this. So I just want to kind of put out there's a couple of different options. First of all, we're going to take a look at it from this perspective, which we are more pessimistic, and then we'll take a look at it from a slightly different wave count perspective and see whether or not actually we are likely to move on up. But first of all, let's adjust this, because we're going to have to put all these back into the correct places. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to basically measure the distance here of our wave 4. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and mark up our retracement for our 5th wave. Okay, so that would come down into this range just here, and then I'll go ahead and just grab those price notes, and we'll just mark that up so you can easily see exactly where that is going. So we get a good idea on that. There we go. Okay, cool. So that would be our effectively our wave 5, right? And this will be our retracement for our wave 4. We'll just measure that to make sure that we are all exactly where we think we're going to be on this one. Let me just grab hold of that. And we'll put it right here. So this one essentially would be anywhere inside of this little spot right here. So we actually overextended on that one, just a tad, but it's okay. That's not too bad. Just a little below the 50% and a little bit over the 38.2% retracement zone. So not too bad. So yeah, we're right in that sweet spot. So pretty good there. reasonable kind of correction. Now, on our hourly stochastic RSI, we are looking for a correction down, and then, you know, we can see ourselves coming down towards this 87.6 to 90 cent range, and then getting a reversal up from here. This is the fifth wave, okay, so this would be marking the final end of this, and there should be an ABC move upwards. Now, this ABC, as I said earlier, could be another ABC with another 5 waves coming down, essentially making this entire structure a 5 3 5 3 5. Okay, and that's an impulsive structure. And now that's the one that we want to avoid. I think it's actually more of a 535 because it's an corrective, and I think it's a big C wave on this larger time frame. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye out on that. Now, obviously, it's important that we understand where invalidation would come in and why I think that this is a really good key area for reversal. So the first thing we need to do is understand where does that invalidation actually occur. Well, the invalidation would occur just inside here. And let me just make sure I get this in the right level. It's going to be right here. So the low of this and the invalidation point actually comes in at $1.03.8. Okay, so I've actually marked that up exactly right. So that dash line just there, 103.8. Okay, so if the price of ADA goes up higher than that, then it would invalidate any potential 3 waves and 5 waves going down within that same structure, as in it's not an impulsive structure. Okay, so the next kind of move after this low point of 87.6 to 90 cent is going to be ABC upwards on a minimum requirement, and then we kind of see that moving on out of here. Okay, but we are looking for some kind of correction, right? As I said, we are looking immediately at pulling back down first before we can then start to see that. Now, if we actually take this, we take the measurement of this retracement and we move it over to the recent highs that we're just having right now, you can see that this is an ABC, where A, B, and then C coming down. Now, the 1-to-1 ratio puts us at about 90.9, so there's a high probability that you'll be at the higher end of this spectrum here for that retracement around the 90 cent range, unless, of course, we decide to see this go much, much deeper, which is a possibility, but very unlikely at the same time. We're not following good structure in all of these areas either, where we haven't got a good 5 waves inside wave 1. We've got a good 5 waves inside wave 3. And we've, you know, kind of got a way of saying there are potentially 5 waves inside this wave 4, which would be unusual. You wouldn't normally see that either. ABC coming down, and so there's not a clear 5 waves here. There are clear 3 waves coming up. So, you know, for the most part, this is very choppy. And just like Bitcoin, we're not getting those clear, definitive, impulsive structures moving down. And a lot of them have not been invalidated. A lot of altcoins have not been invalidated for moving up higher on their impulsive structures either. So, you know, I think there's a lot of, you know, optimistic kind of approaches to the crypto space right now. There's a lot of noise for sure, you know, talking about, you know, we're moving up to fantastic high numbers. And then, of course, you've got a lot of bearish people who are kind of stuck really focusing in on maybe like, you know, $20,000-$25,000 Bitcoin, and not really necessarily looking deep enough into the structures of what's actually going on the smaller time frames, because we're not following the perfect structures for impulsive down. It's actually very corrective, you know, 535s and 335s and things like that. We're not really following the perfect kind of structure for impulsive moves going down. But nonetheless, we are following the lead of Bitcoin at the moment. Bitcoin's nearing the end of a 335 structure, and then we're going to see a reversal, a bounce upwards, which I think will be a big C wave, taking us out to probably about 45k. That B wave is where we see many of these altcoins, including Cardano, really getting its good push upwards, where I think it would invalidate the structure of an impulsive move going down, and we continue that growth going up. Okay, obviously then there'll be a C wave down on Bitcoin, and that will obviously bring in another corrective phase for the alts. And I do think it's going to be a very steep corrective phase for those altcoins. We are talking pretty significant retracement. So as we start going up into these larger time frames, we can acknowledge, you know, what was going on here. Well, for Cardano, there are, you know, 5 waves inside here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So we have the impulsive structure coming up here. Now, this deep retracement is not too uncommon in the sense of what we would normally expect to see of something like a wave 2 correction, okay? It's too soon to be 100% certain that that is exactly what is going on, but the structure on those smaller time frames that I've just been going through is really encouraging, okay? So yes, it might look like there's actually an impulsive structure here, but there isn't actually an impulsive structure on the smaller time frame. And what is it actually showing us is a series of corrective moves all strung together, such as like a double you know, a double three or a triple three, and essentially what they are basically 335 corrections or 535 corrections all strung together, and they're kind of giving you the illusion of a impulsive move going down, but in reality that's not really what we're seeing. What we're seeing here is a pretty typical wave or complex wave 2, which would mean a wave 4 would be more simple, but essentially we've pulled down right into this low range, right, of corrective state. Let me actually draw this the other way around, so you get a good idea on where this is going, right? So bring this back up all the way to the top, just about here. We can see that we're retracing. This will hit the 702, okay, and maybe down towards the 786, but basically anything below 50% up to 88% is a wave 2 corrective state, right? This is an area that you typically find a wave 2 corrections retracing to, and for Cardano that's exactly where you've ended up. Although I do see this just as a large A, B and C that technically has overextended, I still think we're going to move up high enough to invalidate such a structure, and we're going to move on out of here, okay? Alternatively, I could be wrong, and that could be a 5-wave count coming down, and we see another 5 waves coming down afterwards. I just think that's highly unlikely at this particular point in time, considering what Bitcoin is doing and just the momentum behind everything, okay? Very important that we don't just take a look at the candles, but we understand the volume and the momentum behind the prices. For Cardano here, we can see that we are completely oversold, meaning that there's only one place to go. We can take a look where we were last time that was in the case, right? We were down here in the oversold area. We rallied up with that fantastic 5 waves going higher, okay? We can take a look where we were over here in this oversold area. We rallied up before we fell down, okay, and again this was a higher low than we were previously, okay? So it is possible that we rally up quite significantly on this daily chart, completely wiping out many of those kind of bearish outlooks. The other way of also taking a look at this is could also be a corrective play, right? And the correction here could be 335, okay? That would be a bearish kind of outlook here in the sense that we are in a correction coming down. It's also a possibility. The other way of also looking at this is actually that this is an end of a move, and this is maybe the start of a move. So this could be A, this could be B, and this could be C, going up with another 5 waves higher. Okay, there's lots of different ways you can count it and lots of different narratives on there. The way that I'm looking at it currently on the sub-wave counts are that actually all of the moves that are inside this current structure going down are corrective. They are not impulsive, they are not definitive of a trend. By the word corrective, what is actually meant is that it is a short-term movement in that particular direction. Corrective moves can be up, corrective moves can be down. So essentially what you have here are a move into the downward direction through a corrective structure, whereas this was a move upwards in a trend-based structure, okay, 53535. Okay, very, very different to what we're seeing on the way down. Okay, so you have a trend up, you have correction coming down. This leads me to believing that we are going to see trend up next, okay? But again, could be wrong. This is just how I'm seeing the data at this point in time. Couple all of that information with an oversold stochastic RSI, the movement up is highly probable in my mind. Now, what did I say before was there's going to have to be a correction. There is going to have to be a correction, but in order for the correction to come in, we first of all have to move up. The stochastic RSI here on our weekly chart is overbought. Okay, it has kind of come down just a fraction here, something similar to what maybe happened previously at this end over here during this fantastic run that we were having to the upside. Okay, we can stay up in the overbought area for quite some time. We have actually just pulled out of the overbought area, and we can come right back into it just like we did previously. It's not too much of the end of the world. But we will see this thing eventually pull back down, and it will eventually correct down to the downside. And essentially what we need to do first, though, is to make sure that we are rising up our daily stochastic RSI to the upside. As I said, I think that this is going to be the lowest point. We're ending the 5th wave on the 335 correction, anywhere between 87.6 and 90 cent. And then from there, we're going to see that stochastic RSI rise up, see the momentum in the price steadily move to the upside. But what about downside? Well, we can also take a look at the volume here. And what do we see? Well, we see this impulsive structure, this trend-based structure going up, right? At the same time, we see ourselves move from oversold to overbought on the stochastic, and we see volume increasing. Okay, what do we see on the way down? Well, we see a corrective structure. We see the corrective structure in the sense that it's not trend setting. We see ourselves with a stochastic RSI that is overbought going to oversold. And then what else do we see? Well, we see the volume dropping down. This basically tells us that there is not a huge sentiment for selling on the daily time frame. In fact, the volumes are decreasing as we pull down, but they were increasing as we went up. Okay, this is telling us that the trend is very much to the upside. The stochastic RSI is very much in the right direction for momentum to the upside. And we are literally about to bottom this out before moving up, in my opinion. So guys, that's kind of what I'm thinking for Cardano. I'm kind of expecting another 5 waves up with a 5-3-5-3-5 structure in the same way that we had over here, because I think this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, and wave 3 is next. If you found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.